Hello YouTube, Canadian Edge here. We are going to do a review today, and the knife that we have with us on the table, it is the Kizer Drop Bear Halloween edition. Kizer made a few different knives for Halloween, and I managed to pick one up and thought about getting the Drop Bear anyway, and so this was a good excuse to pick it up. So if you haven't seen this already, this is what it looks like. It's got the acrylic handle, which we'll talk about a little bit. It's got the haunted house on there with the bats and the tree. On this side, you've got ghosts and jack-o'-lanterns and spider webs and different little things on there to decorate that up. And on the blade, you have Trick or Treat and a bat. I'm not sure why Trick or Treat is a question on this side, but anyway, that is what the knife looks like. And so let's take a look at what this all has to offer. So the Kizer Drop Bear, it has a blade length of 2.97 inches. Open, it is 7.15 inches. Closed, 4.18 inches. It is a Nitro V steel with the drop point blade. The weight of it is 3.2 ounces. The handle, it's acrylic, and it's got the stainless steel liners. I thought it might be cool if they skeletonized them. It would make it a little bit lighter, but I guess they wanted the extra support, and it's not that heavy. 3.2 ounces isn't that heavy. The pocket clip on it, it is a reversible pocket clip, tip up. So lefties, it'll go on the left-hand side, and it is a deep carry pocket clip. So that's handy. I like that. It has the, what Kizer calls the clutch lock, sorry, not crutch, clutch lock, which is just a form of their form of the crossbar lock. And seeing a lot of knives with these on, I like it. I find it easy to use, keeps my fingers out of the way when I'm closing the blade, because I do cut my thumb a lot just under the nail with the liner locks and the frame locks as the blade drops onto my thumb. So I don't know if any of you other guys do that, but I do that a lot. Anyway, on with the show. It has dual thumb studs for opening. It does have jimping here on the back of the blade, and it goes quite far down. It goes almost 3/4 of the blade here, which is really good for me. I like the jimping, and it just gives you that extra purchase. It also has a lanyard hole at the back. For those of you that like to put lanyards on your knives, you can do that with this knife. So yeah. And it is centered down the middle there, and there is no blade play. Up and down, back and forth. It sits in there nice and solid. So that's always a plus too. I like that a lot. And I've got a few Kizer knives. I really like Kizer. They've proved to be good knives for me so far, and very happy with them. All right, let's take a look at some size comparisons. So we have the Ontario Rat 2. Give us a little room there, and you can see they're pretty close to the same size. And the Benchmade Bug Out, we've got that. And so the Bug Out is slightly bigger, just slightly. Excuse me. So it's not a, it's not a large knife, but it's a good size. I like the size of it. So this is the Sencut Saxy, and you can see the Sencut is quite a bit bigger. as is the Civivi Cogent. So they've got some size on that. So it's a mid-sized knife, which I like the mid-sized knives. They've been a good size for me. I find them easy to work with and not too big and bulky, and also not too big and scary when you use them in public and that for different tasks. So one of the main reasons I got this was I was debating whether I wanted a Drop Bear. A lot of people said, hey, you need to get a Drop Bear. Drop Bear is a really nice knife by Kizer. It's really good. Really like the design of it and blah, blah, blah. And I thought about it. Wasn't necessarily particularly keen on them, but the more expensive ones with the fat carbon handles and stuff like that, scales, looked very good. I just didn't want to spend that much money on them. And then they came out with this one, and I thought it was kind of fun. It's a fun design, but it is a functional knife. It works great. But this will end up just being a collector knife in my collection. I have used it for different tasks and stuff like that, but it won't be a heavy use knife. It'll be more of a talking point in my knife collection, something that I keep around and keep in good shape. I don't want the writing and that to wear off. And this is, I guess they must have made a limited amount of these knives, because it says this is 161 of 350. I don't know if that'll even show up. No, my camera won't focus on that. Just above the bat, there's numbers. I believe it's 161 of 350. So it is a limited edition knife, I'm guessing, and I thought it was kind of cool and fun to get this one. There was a few other different styles that they have, but I like this one the best, and so this is the one that I picked up. Let's take a look at sharpness, because you do want a sharp knife, whether you're just taking it as a collector knife or you're actually planning to use it. And we can see that it cuts paper quite well, so no issues there. The old zip tie, although, like I say, I don't intend to use this for a lot of use. Oh, but I cut through that, no problem. And through the nylon cord, no issues there. And through the fake paracord, no effort involved there. So yeah, it does come sharp. Like I say, it is a usable knife. It's not just something to look at, but it is a usable knife. And so I like, as I say, what they've done with it. I thought they did it up rather nicely. Gave it an interesting look. This could have, maybe the acrylic could have been orange, but not a big deal. It works fine the way it is. There is one with the orange acrylic, and it has a jack-o'-lantern on the scale, or on the liner underneath, sorry. So you can get that if you prefer a different color in the acrylic. But out of the box, this thing worked really well. Pivot. I have yet to get a Kizer knife, or to even handle a Kizer knife, that the pivot doesn't work great on them. They have smooth pivots right out of the box, no issues. I do put pivot lubrication on my knives when I get them, just because, I don't know, it's just been a habit with me. Whether they work good or not, I just like to have that extra lubrication and make sure that it's working smoothly. But this one, right out of the box, it works smoothly. As I said, the aesthetics of the knife itself, there was nothing wow factor about it for me. It's a pretty generic design. I do like the swedge that they have up here on the blade, but you know, there was no real super wow factor for the Drop Bear itself, other than, as I say, you can get it with different scales that make it quite nice, and this design for me was quite nice. So aesthetically, I like what they did with the Halloween theme. I'd be interested in more knife companies doing different themes, whether it be Halloween or Christmas or whatever. You know, just fun for your collection. If you're a collector, it gives you something different to put in your collection. So yeah, aesthetically, I thought that was pretty neat to have that. Ergonomically, they're fine ergonomically, fits great in the hand. It's a comfortable grip. As I say, I like the jimping because it gives you that control. You get a lot of purchase. It's not aggressive jimping. It's actually quite subtle, and but it works. It's enough that your thumb's not going to slip very easily, and so it just gives you that extra purchase. Oh, and aesthetically too. I liked the purple on here. I'm not a huge, you know, fan of purple. It's not that I don't like it, but I like the way it works with this. The purple and the black, it actually looked good, and I thought, hey, you know what? I like that. So the grip on this, the acrylic, it does have the grip on the lines. I don't know if that'll show up. Not really, but there is the angled lines on there that give you a grip. You can feel it, and they actually go right up onto the, not quite on the top here, but right up to the edge, and so you do feel it, and it just gives you, it's a comfortable grip, and it's a nice grip. So it's not too slippery, but it's not like super grippy either, where you can't get the knife out of your pocket because it's hanging on too much. So I think they did a good job with the grip here, made a good balance. I've already mentioned about the pivot. The pivot is super smooth on these things. I really like Kizer pivots. They drop close on these, but most crossbar locks and button locks will be a drop close just because of how the system works, and that, but opening it up is not a problem. And the placement of the thumb screw is really nice because thumb stud, because it just makes it easy. Just push it open and it pops open. So that's great. It's fairly slim design, so it fits in your pocket quite nicely. It's not bulky in the pocket, slim this way as well. And so yeah, in the pocket, it doesn't feel like it takes up a lot of room, and that's always nice too. When you're reaching in your pocket to get things, the last thing you want to do is be smacking into your knife all the time trying to find stuff in your pocket around the knife. So it fits in there well, and they did a good job on the fit and finish of the knife. Everything is, all the edges are smooth. You don't have jagged edges anywhere. It all fits nicely. How everything is flush, and yeah, very happy with that. The only two things that I didn't really like about this, and if you're familiar with my beef about pocket clips, they raised the pocket clip on this. So not flush, which I prefer flush pocket clip, because this is a little excess wear and tear on the pocket. Not bad, but it is. So if they would have made that flush, that would have made me happy. But that was my only real complaint about the knife, other than I had the thumb stud fall off. Fortunately, it was in my pocket, and the thumb stud fell into my pocket, and it was super easy to put back on and tighten up. It's a T6 screw on there, So tighten it up. But that's the first time I've ever had that happen, where the thumb stud has fallen off of a knife for me. So that was a new thing. But as far as if you wanted to carry this as an everyday carry, it is a highly functional knife, no problems. It's just, for me, it's more of a collector thing than it is going to be an everyday carry. But you could easily make it your everyday carry. If I wanted to have a Drop Bear as an everyday carry, I would go pick up one of their other Drop Bears and then just keep this in the collection. But yes, it functions great. Had to open some packages, and I cut a little bit of cardboard and that with it, and had no issues. It did that just fine. So you could carry that as an everyday carry, and yeah, check them out. They start at pretty budgety prices. This was $76 Canadian. So, and then they go up from there depending on what you want for the scales and for the blade steel. You can get more expensive ones up into the $200 mark. Just depends what you want. So this is the Kizer Drop Bear. Check them out at your local knife store and see what you think of them. And check out my other videos and unboxings that I have on the channel. Hit the like, hit subscribe. We'll do this all over again with another knife. But until then, you stay safe and stay sharp.